What's up, everybody? My name is Erin, and welcome to the Mad Maker Studio, and welcome back for Astrologaster Part 7. We've just finished up with our newest client, Lancelot Moore, and we learned that Simon is a garbage human being prowling on women. I mean, I'm playing as him as the main character, so I want us to progress the game and get our medical license, but I also want to be clear that he 100% does not deserve one. So let's do a recap on Mr. Lancelot's case and see who we get next. The querent did wish to know how to avoid marrying his cousin Barbara. I did tell the querent to bide his time, as doubtless his young cousin would find a way to put an end to the match herself. Methinks the querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Mayhap I go this night to recite rhyming verse outside Marian's bedchamber. I saw that in a play. It worked wondrous well.
Hear ye, hear ye. Spanish Armada nears English coast. Nation prepares for invasion whilst Queen searches for missing navy. Hear ye!
Oh no, it's because I sent them to intercept the Spanish ships with the fake gold that they're not there. As Spanish ships near our shores, the Queen's ground troops prepare for what promises to be a blood-soaked slaughter of Englishmen by continental Catholic savages. With England's coasts undefended, experts predict Spanish ships will be sailing up the Thames and to London within days. Sources in the royal court say the Queen is more than a little vexed by the absence of the Royal Navy, which she experts describe as lost. And it's my fault. Oh no.
Wench, be sure to marry, lest ye be branded a witch. If Mary sees you keeping cats against you, she will snitch. Beware of Mistress Mary Payne, she is a nosy
Mary Payne, I didn't think we'd be seeing you again.
Blessed even, Dr. Foreman.
Mistress Payne, what brings you in such weather? 'Tis most dangerous to be about in it.
Oh, it takes more than a little wind and rain to forestall me from doing the Lord's work. Besides, foul weather is naught but God's righteous vengeance upon London for the sinful debauchery of its inhabitants.
Verily? Then I dread to think what northerners get up to of an evening.
Pray heed me carefully, Dr. Foreman, for 'tis on a most pressing matter that I am come. Doubtless you have heard the news. The Spanish Armada does sail once again towards England's shores. It seems this latest armada was most unexpected.
Well, as 'tis oft said, no one expects the Spanish Armada.
'Tis very grave this time, for I have heard tell that our own warships are far away at sea, and with our coasts undefended, a Catholic horde may soon be sailing up the Thames to slay us all.
Aye, our situation is most grave indeed. But what would you have me tell you, Mistress Payne?
I wish to know whether the English fleet will arrive home in time to defend our shores, or might we ordinary folk be compelled to take up arms to defend ourselves? Dr. Foreman, are you ready to beat off the Catholics, come what may?
Am I ready to beat off the... Prithee, madam, let us pray the need never arises. Perchance the stars will offer us some reassurance. Will the Royal Naval Fleet return home in time to defend England from the Spanish Armada?
The Spanish Armada is coming. Will the Royal Navy return in time to defend England's coast? The Royal Navy is absent due to a reckless and misguided pursuit of gold. This represents misguided, careless actions, Jupiter in detriment and retrograde. Ambitions will be thwarted by confusion. Neptune, this suggests confusion. Unpleasantness will result from a cunning plan to steal goods. Mercury indicates creativity. Venus in detriment in Scorpio, this suggests unpleasantness. Not sure what that means all put together right now. The authorities cannot be trusted to uphold their duty to defend ordinary Englanders. The sun falling in Libra, this suggests an untrustworthy authority. Mistress Payne must rouse her neighbors to take up arms. This counsels violence. Mars falling in Cancer. Or Catholic evil angels will have their plans thwarted by a deadly, unpredictable event. Uranus in retrograde, this represents a reversal due to an unpredictable event. Pluto in retrograde, this represents a reversal caused by death. The Spanish fleet will be delayed due to the idleness of their sailors. Moon in detriment in Capricorn, this indicates laziness. None of these are good answers. I mean, that's true. The Royal Navy is absent due to a reckless and misguided pursuit of gold. That's where I sent them. Sure. I'm going for it.
Madam, know you of Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex? Or of Sir Walter Raleigh, perchance?
Oh, young Lord Devereux, such a talented young man. My niece is especially taken with him.
Well, it would seem the pair did take the royal fleet on an expedition to intercept and seize gold being transported back to Spain from the New World. But their plan went awry, and now they are lost at sea. I am afeard that, short of a miracle, a Spanish invasion is indeed imminent.
Her Majesty would risk her realm and the lives of her subjects for the sake of gold. Then now present danger does not surprise me. England's downfall will be God's punishment for our Queen's greed and avarice.
Well, to be fair to Her Majesty, I do not imagine she gave Devereux and Raleigh permission to...
Oh, my days! With a Spanish invasion nigh, I know not how to calm my anxious passions. Methinks I shall take to bed with Paul and Matthew this even.
Oh, yes, I see. The Book of Paul and the Book of Matthew. Aye, verily. Holy Scripture does give great comfort to a distressed mind. God keep ye well, Mistress Payne.
The querent did wish to know whether the Royal Navy would return home in time to defend England from the Spanish Armada. I did advise the querent that the Royal Fleet would not be back in time to defend our coast from the Spanish Armada. Methinks the querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Oh dear. My niece will be beside herself with worry. Mayhap I take her on a diverting outing to see the hangings at Tyburn? Yeah, that sounds like a fun family activity. Sir, I must congratulate you on the sterling counsel you gave me in relation to my horrid cousin Barbara, whom my parents did wish me to marry. As you did predict, the wretched little fiend did find at length to contrive a method for ending our engagement. She has run off with the Earl of Shrewsbury. Your relieved querent Lancelot Moore, Esquire. Nice.
Pray take care, for say did you hear what the Countess says about peace? They corrupt your humors and cause cancer tumors, so doubtless they're causing your gold disease.
Is Nicholas Mugg a hypochondriac? He sounds like one.
Good morrow, Mr. Mugg. Back again so soon. And yet your red spots do seem to have faded.
Aye, of the spotted fever I am cured, for, as he remarked, those spots have near vanished and no new ones are appearing. But my wife does swear they were the work of fleas, and she beat the rugs and banished the dogs from the house to rid us of them. She'll be beating and banishing me next if she has her way.
Well, I am glad to hear you are faring better. What brings you this day?
I have a humoral imbalance, and need treating for it.
A humoral imbalance, you say? Well, 'tis true that an imbalance of humours can affect a man's mood. For instance, an excess of black bile, which is a cold, dry humour, can provoke feelings of melancholy, whereas yellow bile
is hot and dry. I thank ye for the explanation, Dr. Foreman, but I did learn all about humours when I took supper with my friend, Mistress Ollingworth. She has a humoral imbalance and takes medicine for it. Hence, I am come this day for medicine to treat my own imbalance.
I see. And what mental symptoms are you experiencing? Any unusual or troubling feelings?
Aye, very troubling. Why, I find myself a-fretting and a-pacing all the day long. Even my wife has remarked upon it.
Anxiety and agitation. Pray tell, did these feelings begin before or after you spoke with your friend, Mistress Ollingworth?
Let me see now. After, methinks. Aye, after. Why? Does that matter?
Yes, quite possibly. But let us see what these stars do have to say. What humoral imbalance does ail my querent, Nicholas Mugg?
Okay, so he's totally a hypochondriac. And he's like coming to us, it's like, no, I know I have this disease. I just need you to give me the medicine or the recipe or the medicine for it. So I'm wondering if this is going to be another situation of like, okay, do I tell him what he wants to hear or what he needs to hear? Because he's very anxious. So what humoral imbalance do I have? Cancer, ruler of the chest. Mugg is mildly choleric. A humoral imbalance of choler can occasion symptoms of anger, impatience, and irritability. Mars falling in Cancer. This suggests a minor imbalance of yellow bile, choler. Or Scorpio, ruler of the bowels. Mugg is suffering from constipation and a related psychological condition. Mercury, this indicates a psychological factor. Venus in detriment in Scorpio, this suggests a mild imbalance of phlegm. These are not good answers. Constipation and a related psychological condition. Choleric, a humoral imbalance of choler can occasion symptoms of anger, impatience, and irritability. Oh my gosh. Irritable? I don't know. I mean, I'm probably gonna go with this one. I'll just say no. I'll go with this one because he does have. He's a hypochondriac. He's hearing like, oh, you're taking medicine for that, and you're like, oh, I have that now because all you're doing is just thinking about it, and you need to stop.
Have you a diagnosis yet? This day I am to dine with Mistress Ollingworth, and I wish to tell her all about it.
Aye, 'tis done. You have an imbalance of phlegm in your bowels. Not only does this cause constipation, it does also provoke a condition of the mind called retention of the anus. With retention of the anus, the sufferer is prone to fixation and obsession. Is there, perchance, a particular subject upon which you think you may fixate or obsess? Prithee, sir, take your time to think.
Nay, I cannot say as I do fixate or obsess over anything. Methinks your diagnosis must be wrong.
Oh, well, it was worth a try.
Aye, well, doubtless you will have better luck with the stars next time, eh? Good day, Dr. Foreman.
I just wanted to help you. The querent did present with symptoms of a troubled mind, yes. I did diagnose constipation and retention of the anus. I was not able to prescribe a treatment as I failed to convince the querent of this diagnosis. Methinks the querent took my advice a little ill. I do not think I would like to tell Mistress Ollingworth about an imbalance in my bowels, not over dinner forsooth.
Hear ye, hear ye! Spanish Armada sunk by English storm! Hear ye!
Oh, thank God. Proving once again that God loves England more than our Catholic enemies, the Spanish naval fleet has been defeated by a mighty storm that has been raging in the English Channel for nigh on 3 days. What remains of the Armada has fled back to Spain. Beachcombers are advised to wait for the storm to abate before looting corpses that have washed ashore. Nice.
Here comes a son of noble birth. Know you how much his father is worth? For such a boy advantage is bought, entitled to much, deserving of naught.
How old is this guy?
Oh, sirrah, I have dire need of your counsel.
Pray calm yourself, sir, and tell me of this urgent affair.
Oh, verily, 'tis most urgent. A fair maiden has my heart, a maid with hair of shining gold and eyes so blue the finest sapphires grow pale with envy. But she is a most pious and demure in nature, and has many other suitors. How might I win her favour?
Golden hair? But in our last consultation... let me see here in my notes. Yes, you told me your heart belonged to a maid with hair of onyx black that doth make the finest ebony go grey with envy.
You mean my cousin Marion? Pish! That was naught but a childish fancy. I bid you, foreman, pray focus on the matter at hand. For if you do not help me win my true love's favour, my bursting heart will tear asunder. My soul will wither unto...
Aye, as you will. Let us see what guidance can be had from the stars. How may Lancelot Moore win the heart of this golden-haired maiden?
How may I win the heart of my true love? I don't know why I did a Senor Ferraro voice. I miss him. A sudden religious conversion is strongly advised. Uranus in retrograde. This suggests an unpredictable event by which some person or idea is reversed. Pluto in retrograde. This tells of a transformation wherein something is reversed. Moore's hopes will be realized, but he must be self-disciplined and patient. Saturn exalted in Libra. This advises patience and self-discipline. The maid's secret nature is hidden beneath a veil of false religious fervor. Okay, is this woman Avis Allen? 'Cause she's the only Catholic in a sea of Protestants. Ugh. The moon, this represents a woman, the maiden. Jupiter in detriment in Gemini. This indicates false piety. It would appear that Moore has a brutish nature. Mars falling in Cancer. This indicates violence and aggression. I don't think he's violent. Moore may win the lady's hand in marriage with jewelry and fine things. Venus, this planet suggests jewelry and fine things. Whoops. Moore should lie about the seeds of his fortune, a trifling task for such an oversauced peacockle. Neptune, this suggests deception. The maid's father has a deceitful business partner. The sun, this represents a mature man, the maiden's father. Mercury in detriment and retrograde, this suggests a liar who has turned a turncoat. Okay, so given how Mr. Lancelot Moore has been flip-flopping between all these different women he likes, I think this might be the most likely scenario for him to win this woman's heart. But once he's locked in, is he going to be happy about it? That's not good. I don't want him to lie about his fortune. Moore's hopes will be realized, but he must be self-disciplined and patient. Alright, I'm gunning for it.
would seem the lady is a modest and pious maid, for the stars urge you to exercise patience and restraint. Although your rivals be fierce, your sword must remain in its sheath, if you take my meaning.
Huh? Keep my sword sheathed? Oh, you think I do verily use my sword to fight with? Oh, ye gods, no. The sword I wear is purely ornamental. If you paid more attention to the current fashion, you would know that, Foreman.
But that is not what I... Oh, never mind. What I mean to say is that your attack on the maid's heart must be spiritual. Have you considered converting to Puritanism? Only temporarily, of course.
God's teeth! The heavens advise me to become a Puritan? In truth, this is ill to hear, for black is not a becoming colour on my person. Still, the stars do speak truth about my love, for she does oft prattle on about sin and hellfire. Good day to you, Foreman. I must go at once to my tailor to be fitted for the latest and most loathsome Puritan fashions.
I think that was the best option out of the three, especially after hearing his response now. The querent did wish to know how he might win the heart of a golden-haired maiden. I did advise the querent to respect the pious modesty of his beloved. However, I fear he has not the wit to grasp my meaning. Methinks the querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. So thoroughly will I impress the maiden with my puritanism that she will fall into my arms like a halfpenny strumpet. Sir, I write to you to express my gratitude, for it seems you did heed my entreaty not to encourage my husband Nicholas in his delusions. Although he was a trifle disappointed by the judgment you gave him at his last consultation, he has now found other notions to occupy him. He has lately developed an interest in the life-extending powers of standing on one foot for protracted periods of time. Your querent's grateful wife, Sarah Mugg.
Alice Blanche, she likes a drink. She does care not what you think. Her head may end up down the sink, but Alice cares not what you think.
Good day, Mistress Blogg. What brings you?
Oh, Dr. Foreman, I have worked myself into such a state that I have urgent need of you.
Oh, you have you? Well then, let me just,
Yea, I have urgent need of your counsel. I am certain that my husband Blogg is hiding a shameful secret from me. As you doubtless did note from my flushedness of face and heaving of bosom, I burn with the fever of suspicion and curiosity.
Indeed, I did remark a fever upon your person, and wish fervently that I may bring it to a speedy resolution. Let us see. What is this secret that your husband Thomas Blogg hides from you?
What secret is my husband hiding? It appears that Alice is to inherit wealth one day. The moon, this represents a woman in the querent Alice Blogg. Alice's husband serves his wife and family well through his frugal management of their affairs. Saturn exalted in Libra, this represents frugality and patience. Well, if his last two expeditions have done anything, he is not being frugal. I see intelligence, authority. Yeah, verily. Alice is impressed by my authority and intelligence. No, Simon. The sun, this represents authority. Mercury, this represents intelligence. The secret relates to a sudden transformation in fortune. Yep. Surely this refers to the Spanish treasure expedition Alice's husband invested in, but would it be right to reveal what I know to Alice? Unless option C is better, then yes. We're gonna pick this one. Uranus, this suggests a sudden change in fortune. Pluto, this indicates a transformation. Alice's husband has been carelessly optimistic with the family's finances. Yep. Mars in retrograde, this represents a misguided man. Thomas Blogg, Jupiter in detriment and retrograde, this indicates a carelessness and misdirected optimism. Alice's husband business instincts are misdirected. Neptune in retrograde, this represents a reversal caused by confusion. A religious romance? No. No, it's B.
I fear the secret your husband hides is a sudden transformation from wealth to pauperdom. For he has been careless with your family's finances by making a series of bad business investments.
Lawks a mercy! That boil-brained chump has ruined us! Upon my virtue, I can hardly bear to think on it. Nay, I cannot even! Say, is that medicinal wine I spy on the shelf behind you, good sir? Prithee, pour your patient a dose of it. Simon makes a fine figure when he reads the stars wisely. Mayhap I stay a while and take wine and a little else with him.
No. Stop it. Stop it right now. The querent did wish to know the secret she thinks her husband, Thomas Blagg, is hiding. I did reveal the querent's husband has mismanaged the family fortune. Methinks the querent was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Coitus post consultatio. No. Simon, no. Stop pursuing married women. Of all the vices, why must my husband choose greed? A drunken fornicator gives a wife far less trouble than a gambler. Alright, everybody, I'm going to leave this episode of Astrologaster here. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. And in the comments, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being he's a great guy to 10 that he's a piece of trash, rate Simon's likability right now.